Good evening, everybody. My name is Tom. I'm the co-founder of the company called Flying Stone Canada. In our company, our main goal is to help students and young professionals to find the best shared accommodation and enjoy it, share the homes happily together. So to start in today's episode and the next couple of video episodes, what I'm going to do is to help students and the young professionals to find a system how to rent the best shared accommodation in locally Edmonton or in Canada. Before we start, I would like to just give you a quick rundown about myself and what got me into this business. So, briefly speaking, myself is fairly straightforward. I was originally um, graduated from China. I remember when I was in my college back home in China, we have, I remember, up to eight uh, roommates in a very small apartment complex, which probably just like give or take, I tend to say about the 10 feet times 20 feet. So we basically have four uh, bunks up and down. So we have eight people, eight students in total. It was really, really tight. Now I start think about it, and it's quite amazing how we all cramp into a one room, and for 4 years, eight people. But what really out of that 4 years experience is that I still have my best friends we made during that 4 years roommates time period in the college time, and that was a very, very interesting experience, and I will say there's a lifelong lasting impact in terms of how I grow from a teenager into a young man and finish my college time. So that was a very, very interesting experience, although it's not really for saving money or in any sort, but I do build a very strong friendship which lasting years until today. Fast forward, I graduated from school and then went to work for a refinery as a chemical engineer for a few years. Then getting bored, start to think about my childhood dream to explore the world. Happened to be Canada is on my radar, so I applied for independent immigrant and luckily enough got into Canada legally very in about 1.5 years old time. So I remember the very first day I landed in Canada, a friend, which means we really don't know each other, but it's somehow through some sort of social network. When I say social network, is back then. I don't want to make you feel I'm a caveman or something, but back I think that is the end of 1999 or 2000. There is no such powerful social media or yet. So we basically through a very friends after friends through friends we know one people, and he was kind enough to pick me up from airport and then put me into a basement room or renting place. And that is my first shared accommodation experience in Canada, which is pretty much the very first night after I landed in Canada. I remember that night I sit down in that room, very dark. It was a piece of mattress. I don't know where they find that mattress. The smell is pretty bad. There's no window in that bedroom, and there was fire. The furnace, which was probably 30, 40 years old furnace, was making a huge noise, screaming, and that is the first night. So it is a basement room, not that clean at all, and very filthy with no window. And I remember I was being charged for $500. Fast forward 6 months later, I went to the landlord say I'm planning to leave because now I'm being enrolled into the university and I have some other arrangement. My family are coming to join me. The landlord, I remember at that time there's no lease agreement, no paper, no nothing. She just look around and say, "Yep, I saw there is a little damage on the floor, so your security deposit is all gone." So then I end up with zero security deposit come back. So that was the first 6 months. I paid $500 for something per month for something that has no window underground in the basement. So that experience taught me that you got to be very careful because sometimes there are all kinds of quality of shared accommodation in the market. Some of them are actually quite shady. So I start to went to, I remember this is a time where my family is planning to come and join me, and I went to rent a two-bedroom condo. Well, all of a sudden things changed. Family, due to some family, even they cannot come anymore. But here I signed lease, get into this two-bedroom condo, which I did a quick calculation, and I realized the kind of money I have on hand comparing to the rent I'm going to pay. I remember is about 700 something, but the money I have in my account plus the money I can make from be a teacher assistant as a master student in University of Calgary, I think I got into the right part for minus $100 per month. So I do need to act very quick to do something in order to be able to cover this this kind of right period, the rent. So the idea I came up with is actually sublease. So I went to basically went to school campus. I posted a few boards, a few little notes, basically saying, "Oh yeah, I got a two-bedroom. I have one room is available, and I would like to share that one room with some classmates or some roommates, whoever want to be the roommates." Luckily enough, I have a gentleman. He went and find me, and we make a quick agreement, and he moved in the very next day. Again, there's no such lease agreement or anything. We just kind of verbally agreed. But that experience turned out to be very, very helpful because if that gentleman doesn't join me to share this room together, I'm going to be really in a pretty bad economic trouble. So that's basically a couple of experiences I have with the shared accommodation. Once I graduated, I went to Syncrude, Suncor, worked as an engineer for a couple of years. But in my mind, there's always something in this shared accommodation which I found is a great, great way for people to be connected based on my college experience, plus the experience after I came to Canada. I had a great opportunity to basically learn a lot of new things very quickly through my roommates, because that arrangement to be in the same apartment gives you a very good opportunity to network with each other. And not mention there's a humongous benefit in terms of saving on the money for the students who just start struggling with a lot of financial parts. So those experience really helps me to get a real good feeling that the shared accommodation to our students is a great way to not only save money but also be able to enjoy some good quality companies and build a great network. So having said that, I always have some other thought in terms of how people can really make a good, solid connection. And I feel the shared accommodation through the college experience is probably one of the best way to go. So fast forward, I made my decision to quit my job and start this rental business with the focus to help students and young professionals to be able to find the best shared accommodation. Where I do have some shared accommodations I have, but in my experience over the years, I noticed if you do it proper and right, there are going to be a tremendous benefits for every single student who can benefit from the experience of renting the shared accommodation. So there are, I kind of based on my experience, I would like to share through the following videos are 5 things. There are 5 things for everybody. If you follow this very simple system, it will guide you to find the best shared accommodation. Not only save you money, allows to enjoy the best properties available in town, but also give you the great opportunity to build a strong, lasting relationship with like-minded people. So those are the benefits I strongly feel if you do the renting shared accommodation right, those are the things you will be benefited to a lot of students. So those 5 things I can just quickly give you a rundown, and in the next couple of videos I will explain them in detail of each of them. And at the very end, I will also provide you a free score system so that you can use that score system and make a score on the property you already checked out, and based on the score system you can make the final informed decision. So without further ado, the 5 steps are: first is called knowing what you want. What is the must and what is the desire? And that is very important. And secondly, I call it what, when, and where. So when meaning when is the good time to start looking for properties. And also you want to know where to find those properties online, from which website are the best way to do. Besides website, are there a better way to do it? And what need to be prepared before you're heading out? Start to look around. And also the third thing I want to help you to understand how important you want to know as much as you can about landlord you are going to be in relation with for the coming terms. And that is probably one of the most important relationship you want to make sure is going to work well. That is the number 3 item I want to explain to you. And the number 4 is called property. And in the property section, we will talk about location and also the property itself. And the very last one, but not the least, is the roommates. To make your whole experience truly enjoyable and beneficial for everybody involved, roommates are essential. And how can you make it right? So we are going to explain that in the next couple of videos too. So thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.